Hello. Hello. Can anyone hear me? Anyone? I don't know. Maybe. See me, Mimi? Trying this again. I don't know. I gotta wait to see someone's coming on here to see if the sound's gonna work. It did not. Okay. Habits Rabbit. Okay. There is sound. Yay. It looks like all I needed to do was restart my computer. I have no idea why that happened. I just was talking with a buddy over Zoom a day or two ago. All right. Technology. So hey, I'm here for a Q&A, talk shit. If anyone wants to hang out, rap. That's right. Damn gremlins. They're traveling from my sack down into my computer bits. Um, yeah, so I had some time on this Friday Eve, hot Friday Eve. Would imagine it's hot for everyone. And talk my filmmaking, talk low budget pictures, talk Warlock Home Video. Want to talk horror movies, talk about large natural breasts, talk about music, movies in general, the 1980s, of course, the 1980s, whatever you guys want to talk about. Hello. Yeah, my birthday was all right. It was okay. Um, I just turned 48 the end of July. Um, it was a very uneventful day. Didn't really do much. Ate some Mexican food with the wife a couple days earlier. A bunch of people came over and they brought cakes and we watched, some horror movies throughout the day, which was fun. But on my actual birthday, really didn't do too much. Yes, it's retro Gen X. Yes, it is ridiculously hot. And that's saying, and that's normal for many parts of the country, but for Western New York, it's very iffy. But this year has been repugnant as far as the heat is concerned. Um, 90s and above, you know, it's been rough. Weird, weird. We haven't had a summer like this in many moons indeed. Um, yeah, man, it's hot all over. That global warming, our space rock is heating, and the sun tain't playing around. The sun wants us dead. Ra, the sun god. The only LBP question I have is why did you never make Taint Like 2, or as you could have called it, New Poon? Habits Rabbit, is that a real question? Do you not know our past and Taint Light? You know, we didn't really want to make the first one, so fuck no to a second one. Retrogenics. The Weird Science. Those 3 extra minutes are on the Blu-ray as well. The Arrow Blu-ray, and I have the Arrow Blu-ray, and it looks great. I have no intention to get the 4K because I think the Blu-ray looks really fantastic that they did. So I have that. Um, yeah, I've seen Weird Science every which way. You know, VHS. I did see it a 35 millimeter screening. The TV version, which is hilarious, which I watched a lot on WPIX when it was on. Um, DVD, Blu-ray, all that good stuff. Magic, wonderful. Lex Ronan. Sometimes the ghost of Caspian haunts me. Is that really a haunting, or more a delicious, welcomed guest that you didn't know you needed? I'm curious if you've gotten any updates about Mulva Demon Ass Kicker. Hey guys, if anyone doesn't know, I shot a reboot um, of my Mulva Zombie Ass Kicker movie, which is 25 years old. 2023, we shot a reboot, Mulva Demon Ass Kicker. It has still yet to see the light of day, and quite frankly, I have no idea why it's not out yet. A trailer has been done since March. That poster was produced in March by the company Make Flicks, Tempe Digital. If you guys want to riot and go find out what the fuck is going on, um, it is rude. It is disrespectful, and those people have not contacted me since March. So that's what's going on with Malva Demon Ass Kicker. I have zero idea. Completely ignore me. They just ignore me. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. But I can't wait for people to see it. That'd be great. And her saga would have been kind of iconic, yes, but like shitting on the iconic. Okay, yeah. What's your favorite underrated '80s horror? I'm trying to up my library. Oh man, I too many. I love way too many underrated '80s horror. um, Jeez, and I guess to horror fans, they wouldn't really be underrated if you like. It's if they're in your collection and you watch them often. The Unnameable is amazing. Um, you know, Chopping Mall, The Burning. Um, Underrated. I mean, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough for me to think that they're underrated because I love these movies. I don't consider guilty pleasures guilty. There's a lot of bad movies that I really love. And I know they're bad. Um, I don't feel guilty ever watching any movie that I love and have in my collection. Um, Man, underrated. Yeah, Life Force might be underrated to some. So many of them might be underrated, but to me, they're gems. You know? Let's see what do we got here. Have you seen Dream a Little Dream? Indeed, I have. I saw Dream a Little Dream in theaters. I do have the Blu-ray. Waiting for my copy of Sasquatch 1 and 2 shipping early next week. Cool. It's from who? Is SRS like making new Blu-ray copies of that? Um, Habits Rabbits. That's a sick poster, dude. Yeah, man. Like A really great artist did it. I mean, I didn't do it. This was the company that put it together. I got to have my input in it, but um, yeah, it's the new Mulva. Debbie Rochon is back, and she's playing Ginger McLargehuge, one of the villains. Leo is back. Jason is the new Mr. Bonejack. And we got Meredith as D'Artagnan, the sex demon, and Alec as Lance, the sex demon, and Olivia as Clunge, the sex demon. It's mixing the worlds of Filthy McNasty and Mulva. 25 years after making the first Mulva film. And the trailer's been done too. Uh, since March. Beats the fuck out of me, guys. It drives me crazy. Filthiest McNastiest. Filthy McNastiest. Yep, Filthy McNastiest. I think that's part 3. Shot in 2004. Haven't seen any of them besides Chopping Mall, so thanks for the list. Yeah, I mean, if I had them right in front of me, my collection, I would pull some out and show you some great stuff. I know it's a '90s flick, but I just watched Brain Scan. It was hilarious. I love Brain Scan. Again, I saw it in theaters. I still have my ticket stub to Brain Scan. But I mean, if you've seen my collection, I have Brain Scan posters and the soundtrack and everything, all that good stuff. SRS, yeah, SRS. Interesting. I From what I knew, the Blu-ray had gone out of print unless they're making more Blu-rays. That's cool. Well, good. I don't like Sex Squatch 2, but boy, do I love the first Sex Squatch. Nasty or Filthy McNasty. Filthy McNasty. Yeah, we made 4 Filthy McNasty movies. Filthy Filthy McNastiest. Yeah, I don't even know what I called them. Filthy McNasty, Filthy McNastier, Filthy McNastiest. We called the 4th one Beyond McNasty, but then they retitled it Filthy McNasty 4, Carnal Chaos or Carnal something, Carnal Holocaust, something like that. I don't know. It wasn't our title, but I thought with Malva, if I was going to do a reboot of that first Malva, that first Malva and the first Filthy McNasty movie both uh, put out through Tempe Entertainment at the time. They were sort of the big gateways into people discovering us, even though I had been making movies 10 years prior to that, up to that point. um, it's really those 2 movies that that are the reason anybody even found out about low budget pictures at the time. 25 years ago. So I thought it would be fun to, if I was going to do a reboot, sort of a tip to the fans, bringing the Mulva and the Filthy McNasty worlds together. Are you still planning on filming this September? No, I am not. We are not. We were supposed to shoot The Curse of Bloodfart Lake in September, the third Bloodfart Lake film, but I had to move it because we just weren't going to be ready for it. So we're now going to shoot in the spring, and I am currently writing Bloodfart Lake 3. Next year it'll be 18 years since we shot the first Bloodfart movie. Which is crazy. I mean, I can't believe it's been 25 years since we shot the first Mulva. which is insane to me. Insane to me. I gotta step out for a bit. Catch you in a bit if you're still streaming. Film crew rules. Awesome. Uh, well, we'll see if people keep talking to me and are engaged, and we have a nice conversation going. I might still be here, but yes, and I agree. I do. I do like Film Crew. That's one of the ones I do like that we made. Almost, we shot that in 2006. Wow. Go yes, I Golden. I still want you guys to come out and help us out with Blood Fart 3. Um, Hello, Robert Hoffman, and a happy Friday. Rigagoo to you. We're just doing a nice Q&A, talking about this, that, and the other thing. Anybody got any questions about anything pertaining to making movies, horror movies, weird comedy, movies in general, boobs, bush, and butt steak, music, aliens, all that good stuff. What's my scripting process? It's coming up with a stupid idea, writing it down. I have several. I'm a notebook guy, so I have several notebooks that I just scribble ideas, treatments, outlines, um, and then I kind of just go from there. If it's making me laugh, if it's making me giggle, it's if I think it has a decent enough title or concept, loose concept, and that I think I can you know, develop, then you know that'll be the next movie. Then because I have this team that has worked with me for over 20 years, 20 plus years, well over 20 years. Only a few of the people are still here with me that were with me back in the 90s doing it. A couple stragglers, but this main crew has been with me for over 20 years. So I write for them. I write those characters. So what I'll do is I'll get a hold of the gang and I'll say, "Hey, who can do the movie?" And whoever says, "Oh, I can this time," then I'll start creating a character or writing for them. Um, and then you figure out who is the new blood that I'm going to try to bring in. What is that type of character? Um, to bring outside of the crew, to bring into the film. It's you know, I talk a little bit about it also in there's a documentary that was made 5 years ago about us by a filmmaker from Seattle who was a fan of our stuff and wanted to tell my story. Um, that documentary is called Zero Budget Heroes: The Legend of Chris Seaver and Low Budget Pictures. It is out on Amazon and Tubi. Um, and it does a pretty good job talking about me being born in '77 and then the history of my fandom and wanting to make films and all that good shit. So, Dynamite Tiger, what you gonna be for Halloween? No idea. No idea. Probably Ernest again. I'm usually Ernest because I keep the Ernest costume at the ready in the closet back there. Um, but it's a Halloween's a Friday this year, so we're gonna have a bunch of people over. We always do it up outside and everything. We get a great amount of kids in this neighborhood, so it's really fun. And we're like the Halloween house around here, so people love our setup, and so we'll probably go out, hand out candy, scare kids, watch or another typical day. Uh, Thanks for hanging in there, Chris. It had to be torture. You keep the bar relatable and keep us inspired. Um. Golden. Thank you. The doc was great. Super inspiring. Thank you so much. Excellent choice. Thanks for hanging in there, Chris. It's a it's a struggle. You know, I'm probably depressed about my quote unquote movie career, more depressed than anything else um, on that subject. And still, probably daily, I'm disgruntled about it. But as I've said to many people, interviews in the doc, it's just a thing. I just have to keep doing it, much to my chagrin, much to the people who don't like my films' chagrin. I just it's just a part of me, and I keep going, keep doing it. Robert Hoffman loved the Debbie Rashawn write up in Videoscope. Stood in a Barnes and Noble and read it the other day. You're a maverick. I guess so. Yeah, it was a cool little article that she decided to write about our 25-year friendship. Um, yeah, it was really sweet of her to do that, and it put a little spotlight on Mulva, the new Mulva, whenever the fuck that's coming. Um, yeah, I talk to Debbie frequently, and she's great in the movie. She's really good. She's so funny. It's our ninth collaboration together. Um, and yeah, she's you know, and I really like pairing her with Josh Swire. For fans who don't know, Josh Swire is one of my best friends, and he's in a shit ton of my movies. But um, I like pairing Debbie Rashawn, who is a independent independent film actress, you know, very famous in her own right, and indie fans and stuff like that know who she is. But yeah, getting those two, I pair them together in this, and they're really funny together. So great. Thoughts on '80s Disney? I'm not a I've never really been a Disney person. I was into Disney like, you know, when I was like 4 or 5, 6. I used to draw um the Seven Dwarfs and stuff like that. But I'm not a I love going to the parks, but I don't watch I really don't watch much Disney anything. Um so I mean I like the Halloween specials and the Mickey Christmas Carol and all that stuff. But and I sure do love ice cold Coca-Cola. Don't forget us little people when you become an uber famous celebrity director. Don't worry, I'll never become an uber famous celebrity director. That's not gonna happen. 48 years old. I've been doing this for almost 35 years. It ain't gonna happen. And I'm okay with that. My passion is to make shitty comedy horror films. There you go. So much has happened in my life regarding making these movies, good and bad, ups and downs, so close, yet so far away. Uh, I just gotta just keep being me and make myself laugh. That's all I can do. You know. Golden. I still need to watch the Heather and Pugly ones. Those are all I have left from the bunch I've bought from you over the last few months. I've yet to watch. Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts on those four flicks. Starting in 2002 with 12 Inches of Dangling Fury, the first Heather and Pugly short film, and the first anything that Meredith ever did with us. And you can tell, you can see her progression even in just those films. I mean, she is the top. She has been in more of the movies than anybody else in the group, including my cousin or the original members of LBP. She holds the top spot. I think she's at 35 or 36 out of the 60 plus movies I've done. She's in like more than half of them. Uh, in the spirit of the sexy, oily, lost boys sax player, I still believe. Thank you, Timmy Capella. Great. He was playing sax this close to me at a show back in March, and his greasy sweat from his muscular bountage flung and slapped me in the visage. It was great. It was very fun. Killer Clowns from Outer Space or Funhouse. I love Funhouse. I've never been a fan of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Never. But boy, do I love Funhouse. And the 4K is gorgeous. 'Tis a hot and sultry evening. It is indeed. It is indeed. I went out this morning thinking I was going to beat the heat to mow the lawn. We have a very large lawn, and 15 minutes in, I was swamp ass. I was sweating to the oldies. Meredith is the goat, 100%. How's Casey and the fam doing? Case, they're doing good. Yep, they're out in Florida. They're doing all right. We went and visited them this past June. Um, yeah, they're doing good, acclimating themselves. Casey will be back up here in the beginning of September and stay with me for a bit. And we're gonna shoot a couple episodes for the channel. But yeah, he's doing his thing. Anybody been seeing a lot of movies? Oh, did somebody say? Oh yeah, I did see Naked Gun. Yes, Robert, I did see Naked Gun. I liked it. I did. I laughed a lot through it. There was there's a little bit where it started to feel um, like the jokes were running out and it was starting to run out of steam, and then the the last like 20 minutes hit and the absurdity kicked back in again and I was back on board. But yeah, it was really nice to see stupidity back in movie theaters. You know, that type of absurd humor that I love so much. Great bits, some great gags in there. Um, yeah, but I've been seeing a lot of movies. Summer's always a big. I go see a lot of the movies, so I've seen quite a bit of the stuff out there. Any new episodes with friends planned? Um, you know, I mean, everybody is just busy. They're just busy. Crowdfunding or business investment? What you talking about, Willis? I don't know what you're talking about. Love when you and your buddies talk 80s life stuff. Me too. I wish I had some buddies who would take the time to come out and talk about it. But they don't. I've always been a Kraft mac and cheese. Yeah, I saw Superman. I liked Superman. I didn't love it, but I did like it. Um, I loved Fantastic Four. Uh, yeah, I just saw Weapons yesterday afternoon. It was all right. People are like losing their mind over it, but for me, it was okay. Uh, no, OJ Simpson was not in the new Naked Gun. His picture was. And now I joined late. Have you seen Bring Her Back? Wondered what you thought. I'm new to horror movies. Ah, um, so oh, I'm ready for Radical too. One of these days, crom damn it. Aaron McNabb. So I did not see Bring Her Back. Um, so if I haven't said this before, many of the people who know and who watch my stuff or watch my movies or watches this channel, um, I've been a horror fan pretty much my entire life. I was born in '77. I grew up in the '80s, and my family were movie people, and so we went to the movies a lot. And my mom and my uncles in particular would show me shit I shouldn't have seen at a very early age and play me music and that was outside the norm and stuff like that. So I got into a lot of things at a very early age. So I've always loved horror. Uh, it's always been a part of my life, as well as absurd, stupid comedy. But I also love science fiction, fantasy, all that good stuff. Um, but I'm not a person who, oh, it's there's a new horror movie coming out. I gotta see it. I'm just not like that, and I'm not like that with any movie. I see the trailer, and if the trailer interests me, then I want to see the movie. Um, there's a lot of horror fans who I don't know what their history is with horror, but it's almost like like it's their identity, and they think just because a new horror movie comes out, they have to go see it, or they have to own every horror movie and this, that, and the other thing. I'm just not like that. Um, so I saw the trailer for, Bring Her Back, and it didn't really do anything for me. I'm also not a fan of Talk to Me. I didn't think Talk to Me was very mind blowing. I just, I don't know. I just, it didn't do anything for me. So I don't know. Like with Zach Kreger, who did Barbarians or Barbarian. I like Barbarian. Um, I knew he was in The Whitest Kids You Know. I had seen him in that sketch show. I didn't particularly think they were that funny. Um, but I know he has a sense of humor. Barbarian has a sense of humor. He wrote and produced Companion, which was all right. But I really did like Barbarian. And so going into Weapons, I I was really looking forward to it. And ultimately, it it was another like overhyped. This is the new wave in horror spectacular. You got to see this movie. It'll blow your mind, and it's so scary and taut and intense and blah, blah, blah. And it just and I think like that stuff just doesn't work for me. And there's way too many overhyped horror movies these days. But that goes back many many years too, when they started to say like Hatchet was like, we haven't seen a movie like this since the 80s, and this is old school 80s horror. And I did not like Hatchet at all. I thought it was a hit and a miss for sure. Um, but that's me. Bring Her Back. I don't know if I'll ever watch it. It didn't really seem that appealing to me. Um, so I don't know. Uh, Dynamite Tiger, do I still do Saturday? Yes, I do. I still very much do Saturday morning sleepover. Actually, have another one coming up. I did get my pre-order in for the Nightmare set on 4K, but I also as a collector, I don't give a shit about steel books or packaging or anything like that. I care about the movie and the special features, so I don't care. So I got the normal 4K box set on pre-order. Um, Dynamite. Yeah, I'll see Black Phone too. I like Black Phone enough. I like Scott Derrickson enough, so I'll see Black Phone too. I am pumped to see Predator Badlands, but I don't watch trailers. I only watch teasers anymore. Because I prefer going in as fresh as possible. So I've only seen the teaser for Predator Badlands, but that's all I needed to see. A new Predator anything, you're gonna get me. I'm gonna watch it. Prey was amazing. Killer of Killers was phenomenal, which that was great. And so Predator Badlands, I was Dan Trachtenberg. He did Prey. He did Killer of Killers, Badlands. Keep this guy on the Predator franchise. He knows what's up. Same with Fetty Alvarez, um, who did Alien Romulus and is doing the next Alien. Keep him on the franchise. Alien Romulus was kick ass. Um, Scary Ghoul. I hear you. Tons of horror gets pumped out, and it's good to just focus on what actually tickles you. What are your thoughts on Brain Scan? Saw it when I was a kid, and I just recently rewatched it. Second person who's talked about Brain Scan. I love Brain Scan. I love Brain Scan. I saw Brain Scan in the theaters. I still have my Brain Scan ticket stub. I have Brain Scan memorabilia down in the horror room. Um, and yeah, I love Brain Scan. Yeah, I do not give a shit about slip covers or steel books or any of that dumb shit. I think it's a waste. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of space. I mean, what? It's like you're throwing out the main reason why you even want to get the thing in general. It's because of the movie. Um, but that's just me. That's me. People do what they want to do. People collect the way they want to collect. It's all right. I don't do it. The last horror movie I really enjoyed seeing in theaters was Long Legs. Thought that was arguably overhyped due to its marketing. It was way overhyped. I didn't like it. Um, I loved Nicolas Cage's performance in Long Legs. he was the best part, but he's not in it that long. I've been watching a bunch of Russ Meyer stuff recently. Up was fantastic. Well, I'm gonna be Russ Meyer is a hero of mine. Come on now. We have very similar tastes in the female form. Robert Hoffman. I've been showing my son the Rambo film. Still love the first one. Part two was better and more ridiculous than I remembered. Had never seen part three until now. It was Rambo 3. All right. That's right. I love First Blood. Um, I like First Blood Part 2 because of how insanely 80s action movie it is. Um, 3, I think, is the weakest. 4 is a blast, and 5 is like 5 is so bad it's great. Um, and 5 isn't even like a fucking Rambo movie, but it's 5 is just like Stallone on a revenge rampage, and that's about it. It's yeah, fun. Uh, Long legs freak me out. Rambo 2 was my entry as a kid and fell in love with it. Got all the toys. Cage in Willy's Wonderland was surprisingly fun. Didn't like Willy's Wonderland. Give us some Arnold impressions. You need to go over there. You need to see it. You need got all of the Arnold stuff. You need to look it over there. You need to, this is Conan. This is Conan over there. His face on the wall. This is great. It's fantastic. Just look over there. You need the Conan. You need the, you need the, you need the, yeah. Do I have a favorite Russ Meyer film? Um, I mean, as far as uh the women, um, I'm so I think for me, when I say I'm a fan of Russ Meyer, I'm a fan of uh his love of the curvy woman. I don't particularly think his movies are that astounding or that great. Just like um somebody like Ed Wood or John Waters, they're all very hit and miss for me. Um, Russ Meyer kind of reminds me of like what I would kind of be like as an old man. You know? Um, so I mean, I do like probably my favorite is Super Vixens, but I also kind of like what he did with Roger Ebert with um the Valley of the Dolls, which was kind of Russ Meyer light as opposed to like unleashed, unhinged Russ Meyer, you know. Um, so yeah. River will probably never do the call part two. River is River is he's 18. He's doing his thing. He's driving. He's got a job. He's he wants nothing to do with pops. So no, I mean, he sees me occasionally, but he'll come back around. And back to Russ Meyer though, I think there's a portion unless you want to go early 70s because 75 on um mm, I don't know. They kind of all blend together. Those Russ Meyers beneath the Ultra Vixens. Andy Sedaris really became like the Russ Meyer of the 80s and 90s. If you've seen any of the Andy Sedaris films, but I mean, the Russ Meyer stuff. There's actually some like decent performances, whereas the Andy Sedaris stuff is there aren't any decent performances, but boy, are they super fun to watch. Yeah. Oh, come on. I mean, I love the curvy women. Curvy women. Mm, I have a type. Yeah, Andy Sedaris' stuff is just like it's boobs, bullets, bazookas. you know, it's all this like explosions. You know, he has a running thing in all of his movies. They're called like the Lethal Ladies. They're like this CIA group who go around and, in like Hawaii and stop drug deals and bad guys and ninjas and stuff like that. Ah, thank you, Dynamite Tiger. Yes, thank you for popping in. Tis been a while. Tis been a while indeed. Look for the videos with me and Casey coming up in September when he comes. We will be shooting some. And a very famous, terrible Andy Sedaris film is uh, Hard Ticket to Hawaii. And they're all pretty bad, um, but that's really one that most, bad movie lovers uh, point to. And it's one of his best out of all those turds. It's just so fun to laugh at. It's a good time with a group of people, for sure. Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It's ridiculous. And don't look any clips up. Do yourselves a favor, you know. It's probably on Tubi for free, like most of Sedaris's films are. Um, yeah, you got you got to go into that unspoiled. Be ready for the comedy gold. It's not supposed to be funny, by the way. But, whew, it's a good time. Did you guys watch Faster Pussycat? How far into the Russ Meyer collection have you watched? Aaron, I was watching everything with Debbie Rashawn on Tubi. Have you seen Purgatory Blues? Yeah, I've seen a lot of her stuff. Again, I was a fan when she was cast in my first my first movie with her 25 years ago, Mulva Zombie Ass Kicker. Um, I was already a fan of Debbie's. Um, I try to watch everything she's in. Um, she's done 9 movies with us over 25 years that I've known her. I've been making movies. February of next year will be 35 years I've been making comedy horror flicks. Debbie's great. I can't believe I've never asked this before. Do you have a favorite werewolf movie from the 80s? Um, hmm. So, everyone's like go to is American Werewolf in London. And I do love that movie. But it has never been like on my like it's not in my top 10. I wouldn't even know what to put in my top 10. horror movies because I love so many. Um, but I really love The Howling. I really love Silver Bullet. Um, I do love the Wolfman, Universal's Wolfman, but it's not my favorite interpretation. Um, and I'm talking about the Cheney. I'm not talking about when Universal redid it. I had high hopes for that and was really let down with that movie. Um, and there's interpretations of werewolves in other films that I really enjoy. Um, but man, I really do love The Howling and Silver Bullet, both for very different reasons. Um, and I love what Monster Squad did with the monsters in that film. I think they all are really unique, very cool looking. Um, and it was a way because they couldn't because like the main looks of the monsters are sort of trademarked by Universal, so you know everyone has to come up with their own interpretation. And I thought that the Monster Squad, um, they've always been a uh, really great interpretation of the monsters. A great werewolf in that. I also love um, Curse of the Werewolf from Hammer Studios. Um, that look for the werewolf is really unique and really cool. Um, kind of an homage to the Werewolf of London. And the Hammer Werewolf movie is really it's a really bizarre version of the werewolf mythos. And you don't get a lot of him. Um, but I think that's why I enjoy it. So, speaking of Hammer horror, do you have any faves from them in general? Absolutely, absolutely. Um, I love horror Frankenstein. I love both Dracula films that really started off Christopher Lee's big Dracula thing. He did a bunch of them, but I love Horror of Dracula and Dracula Prince of Darkness. But Horror of Dracula is the better. Um, I love Plague of the Zombies. That's a great Hammer film. Um, in fact, almost all of the Frankenstein Hammer movies are pretty good. It's when you start getting to the like 70s, that's for me, it's not the greatest. I have every Hammer movie that I wanted and that I actually like and or love, and it's a pretty big collection. Um, I mean, The Vampire Lovers is good. Vampire Circus is really good, really weird, fun. But I think like people who aren't sort of in tune with the Hammer vibe um, should probably start with you know Horror of Dracula The Curse of Frankenstein, Plague of the Zombies, that kind of type of stuff, because it's a little more digestible. Even though, like, there's going to be a lot of people who say that, they're boring, but I don't think they're boring. I love sort of getting lost in a Hammer film because they're always Victorian. They're very lush. The color palette of a Hammer film is really gorgeous. The atmosphere of a Hammer film is really gorgeous. The scores are always fun. And then you've got really great, you know, uh, performances. Bruce. Hmm. So I don't know because well, I'll go with Die Hard. I'm not a fan of 4 and 5 for Die Hard. But I think those that that trilogy of Die Hard films are exquisite, with the second being the lesser of the 3, but it's still really fun. Lethal Weapon, I only really like 1 and 2, but that's for me. The Vampire Lovers is probably my favorite I've seen so far. Vampire Lovers is great. Need to watch so many more. Yeah, yeah. I'll, you know, I'll give you a snapshot of my Hammer section in my collection, my movie collection, and I'll sort of point out the best, the best ones. Blood Rage. Blood Rage is hilarious. That's a fun Thanksgiving horror movie. And if I haven't said it to some of you guys, if you do have Hulu, watch No One Will Save You, please. Specifically, if you're into ufology, aliens, all of that good stuff, like me. Yes, you're welcome. You guys are gonna have to hook up with me, and we'll have to have another like just us talking. Diggers of movies, hello and thanks. I love your channel. I'm going to EFM in Berlin in March. Some of the projects I'm most excited about are just show Blade to a group of friends who haven't seen it before. What a ride of a movie! I fucking love Blade. Escalator Bomb is an action thriller drama set in the 80s. Model they have to keep going up and down the escalator for the mall will explode or the mall will explode. That's great. That sounds fun. If you could remake one of your movies, which would it be? Um, well, I did remake Mulva Zombie Ass Kicker into Mulva Demon Ass Kicker. The original is 25 years old. So I did do that. I remade our SOV flick Death o' Lantern into Death o' Lantern the remake. Um, but I guess I mean with a budget, with real like a meaty budget and some real time. I would probably take another shot at Ski Wolf. Um, Maybe the Weirdsies, but I'm really happy with the Weirdsies. Um, Sex Squatch, but I'm really happy with the first Sex Squatch. But I know where there could be improvements. Um, yeah. Uh, yeah, these all sound fun. Acres of movies. Ski Wolf, my favorite. I love that you love that. So then the extra comes back and starts hunting them down and trying to get the secret out of the footage. Bullied and tortured. Yeah, slasher. The Weirdsies is so good. Thank you. Let's see. Acres of movies. Have you been to EFM? The European film market? No, I have not. I've never been overseas. I'm actually doing that for the first time this year. Going over to England. Excited about that. My favorite Ernest movie has always been Ernest Goes to Jail. Um, and then, Ernest Saves Christmas. Ernest Saves Christmas has always been my favorite Ernest movie. And then Ernest Goes to Jail. And then Ernest Scared Stupid. And then Ernest Goes to Camp. Um, and those are so there's only five Ernest movies that were theatrical. The one after that was Ernest Rides Again, which was after Ernest Scared Stupid. Ernest Rides Again is deplorable. And it really killed the theatrical run of the Ernest films, and then they all went straight to video. And then that started with Ernest Goes to School, and then Slam Dunk Ernest, Ernest in the Army, Ernest Goes to Africa. That's eh, you know. But the first four theatrical Ernest films, I love them all, but my favorite has always been Saves Christmas, um, followed by Goes to Jail. And I saw every Ernest film, starting with Goes to Camp and ending with Rides Again in theaters. I mean, have you seen Scared Stupid since? No, Bobby's World. No thanks. Jim Varney was gone way too soon. Absolutely. I'll always sing the praises of that man. He was a comedy gem, and I was watching that man since the early '80s. All his commercials would play in our town on our channels, on the channels. The car sedans. going 5 miles an hour. I don't like alligator or chud. Knowing how big of a Fright Night fan you are, I'm curious about your thoughts on 976 Evil. I saw that one as a kid before Fright Night, surprisingly. I think 976 Evil is terrible. I think it's a terrible movie. Ernest Goes to Africa. No wonder he died early. It's rough over there. But yeah, nothing. Not, Robert Englund directing and uh, Stephen Jeffries starring in 976 Evil could not save 976 Evil for me. I think it's pretty bad. Is the new Sea Classics coming along? Sure. I don't know. I am currently writing Blood Fart Lake 3. Um, Waiting for any sort of news about Mulva. Shot a crap fest, shot on video crap fest for Bloodscream Comics. Uh, Early July we did that. Um, I'm finishing up that edit to send it to Bloodscream Comics, and then they'll do whatever they want with it. That was fun because it's so bad. It's so stupid. It's so bad. They wanted like a really bad shot on VHS turd fest, and we gave it to them. Oh, the Chicken Wizard. As far as the LBP classics, Bloody Bobby. That is finally fucking shipping to me from the manufacturer. I got a shipping notice yesterday, 2 days ago. So once that gets to me, I'll send it out to all the people that bought it. But after that, I don't think there's anything planned as far as the LVP classics anymore. Are those concerned? I mean, I'm glad I got a hold of Bloody Bobby again and our Freddy versus Jason and all that stuff. The early '90s stuff. The early '90s stuff that we made is pretty much all back in my possession, and almost everything is out there for people to see. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that never got made and is raw footage, and maybe off and on I'll put that on the channel just to for people to see. Return of the Living Dead or Return of the Living Dead Part Two. I love them both for different reasons. I have a lot of fun with Part Two. That's right. Hashtag free Mulva. You should start that hashtag. Get it going around so that fucking Makeflix sees it. Blood Trim 2. Yeah. I wish. I wish. The only remaining footage is out there on the classics Blu-ray. The raw footage that exists. That was a funny one. That was a funny one. Blood Trim 2. That's some really, really dumb shit in it. Really gross shit in it too. Yes, draw Malva fan art. Maybe I'll show you guys the trailer as a little special sneak preview since Crom knows when they'll release the goddamn thing. The trailer for the movie has been done since March, so I don't know. it might have even been before March. It might have been at the end of February that that trailer was done. I mean, he did say that, they wanted to color correct it, and but, I mean, the trailer was cut, the it was ready to go, it's put together, it's got their watermark on it. I mean, I love comedy and horror equally. I grew up, loving both, seeing both frequently. Uh, yeah, you know, I don't know, they're such a big part of my life, both comedy and horror. You would think Mayflix would like to see some return on the investment. We're all saying that. Everybody. Debbie, Rashawn, and I have conversations almost weekly about the absurdity that is happening with this. It's it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. Any movies you've seen that have genuinely unnerved you? For the most part, I don't go out of my way to watch things like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I'm also very because I was watching this stuff at such an early age and the variety of things that I've seen in the genre, I'm very desensitized to all of it as well. Um, I would always tell people that the film that always scared me the most was Fulci's The Beyond. And that's not particularly because of, there's nothing inherently like, oh, this is going to get you type thing. I was always, but you can say this about certainly from Zombie to, s- Gates of Hell, all that stuff, that quadrilogy of movies he made in the early 80s. Um, they all sort of have that same atmosphere. The atmosphere is very creepy. The the soundtracks are awesome, but also really creepy. The sound in the films are creepy. Um, those I would say that I'd be like, man, I can't watch The Beyond alone or with the lights off for the longest time because it was just something about it that would creep me out. But it's my favorite Fulci film. I love that film. Um, and then I went to see it with Fabio Frizzi, who did the score. I went to see him playing it over a 4K restoration at a theater, and it was a big crowd of Fulci fans. And we did this, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, and it was so not scary anymore. And in fact, like a lot of us were laughing and giggling at how and it was because of how great the 4K restoration was. Um, and so you really saw all the bells and whistles and it took some of that creepiness away from it. But it was a great crowd and a really fun way to see the movie. And it hasn't really changed my love of the film, but it did change, like, I could watch it now anytime and not have an issue with it. Uh, sorry, this is backtracking here. Remakes or original, I don't care. Um, you know, remakes do nothing. Like, it doesn't like, I'm not a, "Oh, the remake's gonna ruin this and blah, blah, blah." No, like, it's so stupid. It's always been a very dumb thing to say when it comes to remakes. Like, if a remake interests me, I'll watch it. If I liked it, then I'll say I liked it. If I didn't like it, then I'll never watch it again. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't fucking care. But yeah, you always want to go with the original, and if the remake is better than the original, um, absolutely. Then you go, fuck yeah, awesome. But it doesn't do anything for like, I don't like, "Oh, no, they're remaking this? Oh, man." Like, so fucking what? Like, don't go see it. Case closed. Simple. The new one in Goner is really cool. Sounds like Fog meets the slasher movie. Also, a lot of touches of Scream and Goner. Yeah, I fucking hate Scream. I'm really rooting for that one. That has the best opening ever. Everyone gets their head popped off at a drive-in. Also, a normal slasher. Hmm. Interesting. Whoa, that's an incredible way to watch it. It was. It was. Film set in the 80s. Uh, I'm very picky about that. um, I do have my thoughts about that because I lived it. I was there. I know what it was like, and I feel like movies set in the 80s can try too hard. Um, and it's also tough because now everything is so, everything is digital now, and it's really tough to capture that look of that time as well. And certainly how, film looked back then. And it was film. It's very rare that you get a filmmaker that is still working with film, if you're not JJ Spielberg or Nolan, I guess. Um, so everything has a tendency to look so flat and a little too blown out color wise. Um, I don't know. It's iffy. I haven't really seen too many films that sort of have captured the vibe and the look if they're supposedly set in the 80s. For me personally, I thought Super 8 was a really great job at that feeling, and that tone. I mean, Spielberg produced that film. It's a Spielberg homage film. That worked for me, and I think Stranger Things works for me, um, because they get enough right, uh, just in the vibe and the atmosphere and the setting than most things that are supposedly set in the 80s do. So, I don't know. Bruce, I'm gonna go. I have to wake up early Sunday morning. I got you. So you're gonna sleep until Sunday morning? I feel you, my man. I'm always open to remakes. Just wish they did a better job with a Nightmare on Elm Street. Fuck it. I mean, I didn't want that to begin with. Robert Englund is the only Freddy for me. As far as I'm concerned, like, Nightmare on Elm Street should never really be like touched. Um, you know, that series should just be that series, and it's a landmark series, and trying to do it now and without Robert is just a fool's errand as far as I'm concerned. Um, thoughts on Herschel Gordon Lewis? I'm not really a big fan of his stuff. If you had to choose of Masters of the Universe upcoming, but you could never see 1980s Masters of the Universe, which do you sacrifice? If you had to choose Masters of the Universe, the upcoming movie, but you could never see the 1980s Masters of the Universe, which do you sacrifice? Um, as far as like the Dolph Lundgren film, which I walked out of the theater pissed. Um, I mean, as much as I love the Masters of the Universe franchise and the lore, and that world, um, I do not have nostalgia goggles on when it comes to the cartoon. So I guess if you're talking about like if the cartoon never existed, I guess. I mean, I'd be okay with it because like the toys came before the cartoon, so I'd still have my toys. Um, uh, I mean, I have the Masters of the Universe animated series. I have it out of my love and nostalgia of it, and for the behind the scenes and all that stuff that are on the discs. But the show itself is a terrible show. Terrible writing. I mean, it was for kids. It was a commercial for kids, which is fine. But I mean, I'm not watching Masters of the Universe now. That cartoon, I loved the new stuff, Revelation and Revolution or Revelation, whatever the fuck they're both called. I own them on Blu-ray, and I love the 2002 series. Um, but I mean, then you know the '83 cartoon series, like it's terrible. So I don't know. I'd take the movie as long as the if I since as long as I could know that Masters of the Universe was still a thing, and I'm seeing the movie for the first time. But even then, like I love fantasy, so I'd give Masters of the Universe a shot if it was like never a thing, you know? If, like just like for the first time we're seeing this movie coming out called Masters of the Universe. Yeah, I'd be like, "Fuck, what the fuck is this? This looks like right up my alley." Cheesy and weird and sword and sandals and shit like that. Sword and sorcery. Yeah, give me a watch. I'll watch. True, there's a lot of movies like that can only really exist in the time they were made. Freddy versus 2025 would be a nightmare in of itself. Yeah, I mean, with the subject matter, I guess for sure. But it's one of those things where I'm just never going to be able to separate Robert from Freddy. I just am not. He is ingrained sort of in my skin. Um, Nightmare was such a big deal to me growing up. Freddy Krueger was such a big deal to me. And if you didn't live in the '80s, you really couldn't comprehend how popular he was. So it was, it's just intrinsic. Robert is Freddy. Freddy is Robert. Um, I'm 100% okay if we never see another interpretation of Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm good. We've got these movies. Am I nuts to say Jason Goes to Hell is my favorite Friday of 2001? I mean, hey man, that's your thing. That is your thing. People can like whatever the fuck they want to like. I say one man's poop is another man's chocolatey goodness. Um, Everybody's got their opinion. Everybody's got their loves, their hates. You should never feel weird about what you love or what you hate. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's all about you, brother. It doesn't matter if I say, "Oh man, this movie sucks." That could be somebody else's favorite film. That's great for them. I think it sucks. It doesn't change anything. You know what I mean? So enjoy what you love. I'm a Count Chocula guy. But I mean, I can't even like the monster cereals are also a huge thing for me, but they changed the recipes. They've changed the recipes of so many of these cereals that I grew up with, that they don't taste the same, and they're far more chemically tasting now. But my go-to was Count Chocula for show out of the monster cereals. Captain Crunch is fine. Yeah, there you go. Alien 3 and Resurrection. I actually like I like Alien 3. I don't love Alien 3. I love Alien and Aliens. Um, I I do not like Resurrection. Um, love Prometheus, hate Covenant, and I loved Alien Romulus. Yeah, I've seen Phantom of the Mall. Wasn't a big fan. Arena, the full moon film, the Empire slash full moon film. Arena, Eric's revenge. He had revenge while he was being Phantomus. Sword fight. It had a great roundhouse kick in it. Man, you haven't seen anything. You gotta. I mean, speaking of the '80s, have you ever had Hubba Bubba soda? I can't. I don't know if I have had the soda. I probably would have remembered it. Boy, do I love Hubba Bubba. I loved Hubba Bubba. There's a lot of that stuff that's still out there today that I think does still hold up, and if you taste it, it does sort of take me back to that time. My favorite Phantom, I do like Hammer's Phantom of the Opera. Um, I really enjoy the 1989 Phantom of the Opera with Robert Englund. Um, that's highly underrated, but it works for me. I own it, proudly own it on Blu-ray. Of course, Phantom of the Grindhouse. King Kong. Um, yeah, I like King Kong. I was not a fan of Peter Jackson's. Um, I do love the MonsterVerse King Kong. Loved Skull Island. Um, yeah, I mean, I liked the original. It was okay. I don't own it, but thought it was decent. I'm a much bigger Godzilla person from a kid to now. How much for an order of ribs? Yoda or the guy in He-Man? Uh, Are you talking about the cartoon Orko in He-Man or the 1987 He-Man movie with Gwildor, which did not have Orko or actually barely anything remotely resembling the Masters of the Universe anything. Um, but Yoda. My favorite of the Showa Godzilla is definitely um, Godzilla versus Megalon and Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Yes, fuck Attack of the Clones, Yoda. I'm not a prequels guy at all. So give me funny old senile Yoda any day. They did bring Puppet Yoda. I mean, Frank Oz did come back to do Puppet Yoda in The Last Jedi. Yeah, I fucking hate the prequels. Empire will always be your favorite. Mine is Return of the Jedi. It's always been my favorite. Empire is the better made film, but Jedi has always been my favorite. I've talked about my theatrical experience of Jedi in '83 many, many, many times. I'll never forget it. Mhm. We'll do it for Johnny. Sweep the leg, baby. Sweep the leg. But I do love Outsiders. Jedi, baby. Jedi. I still have my original Falcon. This is what's left of it. I got it for my 5th birthday in 1982. Ooh, this was the very first. I got this in 1981. This was my very first Star Wars toy that my grandma gave me, and this is what's left of it, the land speeder. I've kept it all these years, just like the Falcon. Yes. This is my original B-wing from Jedi. Missing the canopy. Let's see if we can see any of that stuff over there. Mm. That's all Star Wars stuff. A lot of my childhood toys. My parents were never springing for the Falcon. B-Wing is an unrated ship. One of my favorite Lego sets was the 1999 B-Wing. Creamy. Oh, this is the original Slave One. What the? Oh, maybe I missed it, but have you ever done a Star Wars collection video? I did. Um, I could probably do another one. It was when we first moved in here. Um, it's probably 3 years old now. Uh, it's been 4 years since we moved here. Um, but I have added some more stuff. We moved some things around. Um, so I could probably do another one. Slave One is indeed Fett. Sorry, guys. I'm getting a. My son just texted me. All right. Let's see. Oh yes. Aiming to the Goth ships. Fett Hoth. Hoth. The Hoth. Those are the land speeders in Hoth. Uh, the T-47s. And Slave One is yes, Fett's ship. Um, what do you think? If you guys want to keep talking, or if you have any more questions, or if you're ready to go, I can split. It's up to you guys. If you have any more things you want to know, if you want to talk anything specific, or if you're all good, we can call it a night. What say you? Sorry, guys. All right. Your endless well of knowledge. There are never too many questions to ask, but we will let you go. Rescue your son. That's a strange doctor. That I was able to chill out with you. Okay. Yes, he's good. Thoughts on rock and roll. Anyway, yeah, if you guys got to go, go. Cool. Let me know when you guys can schedule a hangout, and we'll hang out, talk a little bit more. I'm still up for you guys coming. Come on, come on out. Even if you just want to come out and hang for a weekend. All right, friends. Well, thanks for everybody who did come by to talk. I'm happy I did this. And yeah, man, hit me up. Let's make this happen. Come if you can come and experience one of my Saturday morning sleepovers that I do. Um, all right. Like I said, thanks for everyone checking it out, popping in, talking, and we'll see you on another live show. Bisous.